Hi, my name is Emma Reed. I am an 8th grade math teacher, and this video is about using Desmos. So Desmos is especially amazing for use when you're working remotely with students, but it's actually also really helpful in the classroom because it provides students access to visuals and interactive ways of exploring math that are hard to do on paper. So it's a really important tool to learn about, even if you're imagining that you'll be teaching fully in person soon. So this is Desmos, teacher.desmos.com, and you can click right here to create your free teacher account. So that's the first thing you want to do. You can connect it to any Google account, and then I'm going to go into my teacher account to show you the teacher-facing version and how to find activities. So before I talk about a specific Pythagorean Theorem lesson that you could use with your class for this unit, I just want to give my hook for why I think Desmos is so special and helpful for math instruction. And the reason why I think it's so amazing is because of the teacher dashboard. So after I show you this, I'll go more into how to create an account in Desmos and how to use the teacher account and use Desmos created lessons, but I just want to show you how useful it is just to kind of draw you in. So this is an example of an activity that I did with my class. So there aren't any students actively in here now. I'll show you what it looks like when there's an active student a little later. I clicked the anonymize button, which is really useful if you want to show off student work, but I did it here so that you couldn't see any of my students' names. And I just wanted you to see how nice it is to have every student on the left. This is a summary screen. I can see quickly who answered questions right or wrong. I can see which slides students actually went to. I can click in and give student feedback like this, and it'll pop up for them in the center of their screen. So Desmos is super useful. I hope this helps you get started using it. More about how to navigate this slide later. We'll talk about a task on the Pythagorean Theorem now. So here is the home page for Desmos. And you can see they have kind of the menu on the left to go through. And there we go. So you can search for any topic of an activity that you might want to find at the top. And then you can look at the most popular activities. This is where you'll manage your classes once you add them. So you can click right here and click Add New Class over here on the right. And you can sync your classes from Google Classroom directly into Desmos. And then you can create your own activity here, which is kind of a more advanced level that I'm not going to get into today, maybe a future video. And then activity history is where the lessons that you've done in the past will come up. So I'm going to show an example of how you would run a lesson that's already created by Desmos about the current unit topic, Unit 8, on the Pythagorean Theorem. So first I'm going to walk you through the activity and just talk through where you can find different pieces of information about the activity. So this is a task that is adapted from Dan Meyer and from the illustrative math curriculum that our slides are based on. So the activity is called Taco Truck, and then in general, when you find an activity on Desmos, it'll give a description right here and any citations here, any other language that it's translated into. And then at the bottom, you can see a preview of the slides that students will see and interact with them from a student perspective. So here we can see that the first question is going to ask students to determine what distance Alma will walk. They can use the sketch tool here. There's a pen, a line. You can change the color here. Desmos recently added the feature where you can add a text box. And you can add math. If a student for some reason needed to input a fraction or an exponent, they could write it here. And erase. You can submit how long it will take. This is another example of the sketch tool, so students can explain their reasoning in the text box, and they can also support their thinking on the sketch. And I'll show the teacher version of this in just a moment, because that's one of the biggest benefits of using Desmos. So sometimes there are some really cool animations that the Desmos created lessons have, like this one. But the really, really great thing, and you'll see it, is how the student thinking gets nicely displayed for you so that you can respond to students and give them feedback. So now we're at our first kind of multiple choice question. And when students answer this question, the teacher version will give you a very quick view of whether students were right or wrong. So students will choose this and then explain their thinking. I'll just slide through the rest of the slides so you can get an idea of this activity. And then you can see this is a great example of a prompt for if you do not fill out a slide as a student. So we can move this point to choose a route for Zoe to get to the taco truck that will get her there faster. And then students would fill out this table based on that answer. And then students can interact with one another. There we go. So now that you've seen the student-facing version of this task, I'm going to show you what the teacher view would look like. So if we navigate back out to that page for this task, which again you can find by just Googling Desmos taco truck. Okay, so you can see here on the dashboard under the summary screen, the students' names on the left. You can see whether they answered a question that's marked correct or incorrect. The X means I got them incorrect. You can see that there was no explanation written here. That's why the box is gray. You can see the slide that the student is on in blue and a count of how many students are there. And then you can see here, if you would like, exactly how many students responded in like each option. So if we had more students here, you would see the spread. And then you can always show the whole class the spread of answers if you want by using the anonymize button here. So it takes the student names and replaces them with famous mathematicians' names. This is all in the teacher view and the summary view, which I would recommend as the best places to start. Summary shows all students. Teacher view is when you zoom in on a specific slide that a student was working on and look at their exact response. I hope this was a helpful introduction to Desmos. There are lots of really helpful PDs that Desmos has recorded and a lot of sites to help you get started with Desmos. I promise it's worth it. Thank you for joining me today and have a beautiful day.